Welcome to a transformative journey where we will unveil the secrets of one of the most impactful books on personal development and success, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Written in 1938, but kept secret for over 70 years due to its controversial content, this work is a fictional yet profoundly revealing dialogue between Hill and what he personifies as the devil. This devil, however, is not a religious entity, but rather the personification of all negative forces, fears, doubts, procrastination, and lack of purpose that prevent us from reaching our true potential. Napoleon Hill, one of the greatest thinkers of success, dedicated his life to studying the most successful men of his time, such as Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison. His discoveries culminated in seminal works like Think and Grow Rich and The Law of Success. However, Outwitting the Devil offers a unique and darker perspective, exploring not only what leads to success, but also what keeps us from achieving it. The book was written during the post-Great Depression era, a time of uncertainty and despair, which gives its message an even greater resonance regarding the human capacity to overcome adversity. The relevance of Hill's theories transcends time. In an increasingly complex and distraction-filled world, the devil's traps, alienation, fear, and lack of a defined purpose, remain the greatest enemies of personal and professional progress. This video's main goal is to connect the timeless lessons of Think and Grow Rich with the pursuit of life's purpose and the achievement of personal and professional success. We will discuss Hill's theories with in-depth explanations, illustrate them with successful application examples, and most importantly, provide practical exercises for you to apply these teachings in your own life. Throughout this video, you will be guided through the devil's traps and then learn to wield the weapons Hill offers us to overcome them. Prepare for a deep immersion into the concepts of purpose-driven life, persistence, self-discipline, mental control, and the importance of self-education. Our goal is that, by the end of this journey, you not only understand Hill's philosophies, but also possess the necessary tools to truly become more foolish than the devil in your own life, charting a clear path toward fulfillment and lasting success. At the heart of Think and Grow Rich lies a fictional but incredibly insightful dialogue between Napoleon Hill and an entity he calls the devil. It is crucial to understand that this devil is not a religious or supernatural figure in the traditional sense. Instead, Hill uses it as a brilliant metaphor to represent the internal and external forces that conspire against human success. It is the personification of negativity, doubt, inertia, and above all, fear, the true enemies of human potential. Hill, through this dialogue, seeks to uncover the tactics and strategies that this negative force employs to keep the vast majority of humanity in a state of mediocrity and conformity. Hill's devil boasts of controlling 98% of people, and its main weapon is fear. He argues that by instilling fears in people's minds, he prevents them from thinking for themselves, taking initiative, and pursuing their true purposes. Fear becomes an invisible prison, keeping people trapped in their comfort zones, even if those zones are of dissatisfaction and unhappiness. Napoleon Hill identifies 6 mortal fears that are the most effective tools of the devil to control the human mind. They are: 1. The fear of poverty. This is perhaps the most insidious of all. The fear of not having enough, of being unable to provide for oneself and one's family, leads many people to accept unsatisfactory jobs, avoid calculated risks, and suppress their ambitions. It paralyzes initiative and creativity, keeping people in a cycle of subsistence rather than prosperity. 2. The fear of criticism. Worrying about what others will think is a powerful barrier to self-expression and innovation. Many brilliant ideas never see the light of day because their creators fear judgment from others. This fear prevents us from being authentic and following our own paths, preferring the security of social approval. The fear of illness. Constant concern about health can lead to hypochondria and a life of excessive worry. Although health is important, an exaggerated fear of illness can prevent us from living fully, trying new things, and enjoying life vigorously. 4. The fear of losing love. This fear manifests in emotional dependency, jealousy, and an inability to establish healthy relationships. The fear of being abandoned or losing someone's affection can lead to submission and the nullification of one's own identity in order to maintain a relationship, even if toxic. 5. The fear of old age. Aversion to aging and loss of vitality can lead to denial, lack of planning for the future, and a pessimistic view of life. Instead of embracing the wisdom and experience that come with age, many cling desperately to youth, missing the opportunity to grow and evolve. 6. The fear of death. The primal fear of annihilation, of losing everything one knows. Although it is an inevitable part of existence, an excessive fear of death can prevent us from living in the present, taking risks, and enjoying each moment. It can lead us to a life of excessive caution, without the fullness that accepting finiteness can bring. These fears manifest in daily life in countless ways, often subtle, hindering progress and personal fulfillment. They whisper to us not to try, not to take risks, not to dream big. They convince us that it is safer to stay where we are, even if it is a place of stagnation. The hill devil thrives on inertia and inaction, and fear is the fuel that feeds this inertia. Consider a talented person who dreams of starting their own business. However, the fear of poverty and losing the security of a steady job, the fear of criticism from friends and family about what they will say if the business fails, and the fear of failure, which can lead to shame and humiliation, keep them paralyzed. She continues in a job that does not satisfy her, with the constant feeling that something is missing in her life. The devil, through these fears, convinces her that it is more prudent not to take risks, keeping her in a cycle of self-imposed mediocrity. Practical exercise. Take some time to reflect on your own fears. Which of the 6 deadly fears resonate most with you? Try to identify the situations in your life where these fears have prevented you from acting, pursuing a goal, or expressing your true essence. Write them down in a journal, describing their origins and how they affect you. The first step to overcoming the devil is to recognize his tactics and identify the invisible chains that bind you. One of the most powerful weapons in the devil's arsenal, according to Napoleon Hill, is the concept of drifting, which can be translated as deviation or drift. Drifting is the tendency to live without a clear purpose, without a defined direction, simply floating with the circumstances and external influences. It is the opposite of an intentional and self-directed life. The devil boasts that the vast majority of humanity, about 98%, is a victim of drifting, making them easy prey for his manipulation. A person in drifting has no life plan, does not set clear goals, and does not make decisions based on their own values and desires. Instead, they are carried by the current, accepting what life offers without questioning, following the crowd, and conforming to mediocrity. The consequences of drifting are deep and devastating. A chronic feeling of dissatisfaction, lack of personal and professional fulfillment, and constant vulnerability to negativity and despair. Drifting is inherently linked to procrastination and a lack of critical thinking. Procrastination, the act of delaying important decisions and actions, is a classic symptom of a drifter. Without a clear purpose to drive him, the drifter lacks the motivation needed to act. He delays his dreams, ambitions, and responsibilities, waiting for a right moment that never comes. The lack of critical thinking, in turn, prevents him from questioning social norms, limiting beliefs, and external influences that keep him trapped in his state of drift. He accepts others' opinions as facts, blindly follows trends, and becomes a mere reflection of his environment. The Devil of Hill explains that drifting is the ideal state for him to exert his control. A mind without purpose is an empty mind, and he quickly fills this emptiness with fears, doubts, and negative thoughts. A person in drifting is like a ship without a rudder, at the mercy of storms and currents, doomed to sink or run aground on a deserted beach. They become reactive instead of proactive, allowing circumstances to dictate the course of their life. Imagine a professional who, after graduating from college, accepts the first job offered to him without considering whether it aligns with his passions or talents. He works diligently, but without enthusiasm. After a few years feeling dissatisfied, he switches to another job in a different field, again without a clear goal, just seeking a change of scenery. He continues this pattern for years, jumping from job to job, from career to career, always with the feeling that something is missing. He is a professional drifter, driven by the opportunities that arise, but never charting his own course toward a fulfilling career. Conduct an honest analysis of your life. In which areas might you be drifting? It could be in your career, relationships, health, or personal development. Identify the areas where you have been acting reactively, without a clear plan or purpose. Ask yourself, where do I want to be in 5 years in these areas? And what steps do I need to take to get there? Simply asking these questions and seeking answers is already a powerful step to break out of the drifting state and start taking control of your life. In the universe of Think and Grow Rich, the human mind is the ultimate battleground. Napoleon Hill asserts that our thoughts are the most powerful force we possess, capable of creating both our most sublime and our darkest realities. The devil, a master of manipulation, fully understands this principle and uses it to exert control. He doesn't need physical chains to imprison us. He only needs to control our thoughts. The power of the mind, according to Hill, lies in its ability to transform dominant thoughts into their physical equivalents. Whatever we focus our attention on, whether positive or negative, tends to manifest in our lives. Self-suggestion and visualization are neutral tools that can be used for good or evil. When consciously used for good, they allow us to program our minds for success, health, and happiness. We can visualize our goals as already achieved, feel the emotion of the conquest, and thus attract the opportunities and resources needed to make them a reality. However, the devil takes advantage of the lack of control that most people have over their own minds. He relentlessly uses negative autosuggestion. Through the media, which constantly bombards us with news of disasters, crimes, and crises, he sows fear and anxiety. Through an educational system that, according to Hill, often prioritizes memorization over critical thinking, he creates docile and conformist minds. And through religious institutions that, in some cases, focus more on the fear of punishment than on the power of love and faith, he perpetuates guilt and dependence. The devil manipulates the human mind by exploiting our weaknesses and insecurities. He whispers to us that we are not good enough, that we do not deserve success, that the world is a dangerous place, and that it is better not to take risks. He encourages us to focus on our flaws, our past failures, and our limitations, until this becomes our self-imposed reality. The manipulation is subtle but constant, and without proper vigilance, we become puppets of our own minds, controlled by a force we do not even recognize. The key to freeing oneself from this manipulation is the development of critical thinking and self-awareness. Critical thinking allows us to question the information we receive, challenge limiting beliefs, and form our own opinions. Self-awareness, in turn, enables us to observe our own thoughts and emotions without judgment, recognize when we are being negatively influenced, and consciously choose a more positive and empowering perspective. Advertising is a classic example of how mental influence can be used to manipulate desires and needs. A successful advertising campaign doesn't just sell a product. It sells a feeling, a status, a solution to a problem we might not even have known we had. By associating a product with feelings of happiness, success, or belonging, advertising creates a desire in our minds that leads us to buy, often impulsively. Hill's devil uses similar tactics, associating safety with conformity and danger with ambition. For 1 week, pay special attention to external influences on your decisions and beliefs. Question the news you consume, the advertisements you see, and the opinions of the people around you. Ask yourself, is this my own opinion, or am I being influenced? Does this belief strengthen me or limit me? Keep a journal of your observations, and at the end of the week, assess how much your decisions are truly your own. This exercise will help you develop the muscle of critical thinking and become more immune to external manipulation. Among the many tactics employed by the devil to keep humanity in a state of inertia and mediocrity, procrastination stands out as one of the most insidious and effective. Napoleon Hill describes it as a powerful tool, a slow poison that prevents action and consequently success. Procrastination is not merely a bad habit. It is a symptom of deeper fears and indecisions, and the devil delights in cultivating it. Procrastination feeds on fear. Fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of the unknown. All these fears contribute to our tendency to delay important tasks. If we fear we are not good enough for a task, it's easier not to start it. If we fear others' judgment, we avoid presenting our ideas. If the future is uncertain, we prefer to stay in the familiar present, even if it is unsatisfactory. Indecision is the twin sister of procrastination. The inability to make a decision, no matter how small, keeps us trapped in a cycle of inactivity. The devil of Hill understands that action is the antidote to fear and indecision. Once we start to act, even in small steps, we create momentum. This momentum builds confidence, which in turn reduces fear and makes decision-making easier. That's why the devil's strategy is to keep us paralyzed, convincing us that it's not the right time, we need more information, or we'll start tomorrow. He tricks us into believing that postponement is a form of protection, when in fact it is a form of self-sabotage. The importance of immediate action is a recurring theme in Hill's philosophy. He argues that the difference between successful people and those who live in mediocrity often lies in their ability to act promptly. Immediate action does not mean acting impulsively, but rather acting decisively once a plan has been formulated. It is the ability to turn thoughts and intentions into movement, without allowing doubt or fear to settle in and paralyze initiative. By acting, even if the result is not perfect, we learn, adjust, and move forward. Inaction, on the other hand, ensures that nothing is learned and no progress is made. Procrastination steals our time, our energy, and most importantly, our opportunities. It prevents us from realizing our dreams and reaching our full potential, keeping us trapped in the devil's web. Consider a student who has an important exam approaching. He knows he needs to study, but the fear of not understanding the material, the fear of getting a low grade, or simply the overload of information leads him to delay starting his studies. He spends hours on social media, watching series, or doing other less important activities, while anxiety about the exam grows. The devil convinces him that he isn't in the right mindset to study now, or that there's still time. In the end, he studies at the last minute, under pressure, achieving a mediocre result or failing completely. Procrastination in this case not only prevented academic success, but also caused stress and frustration. To combat procrastination, start with small victories. Choose a task you've been delaying and break it down into very small, manageable steps. For example, if you need to write a report, the first step could be open the document and write the title. Use the Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes focused on a single task, followed by a 5-minute break. Repeat this cycle. Set realistic deadlines for each mini-task and reward yourself upon completing them. With each small action completed, you will be building positive momentum and weakening the devil's control over your ability to act. Remember, the secret to overcoming inertia is to start, no matter how small the first step. If fear, drifting, manipulation, and procrastination are the weapons of the devil, then the main weapon against him is, without a doubt, a clear purpose. Napoleon Hill dedicates a significant part of his philosophy to this concept, and in Outwitting the Devil, he elevates it to the status of the ultimate antidote against all enemy tactics. A clear purpose is not just a goal, it is a burning passion, a clear and unwavering vision of what you want to achieve, serving as a compass and engine for your entire existence. A clear and well-defined purpose is what gives direction to life. Without it, we are like a ship without a rudder, adrift in an ocean of possibilities and distractions. With a purpose, every action, every decision, every sacrifice gains meaning. It provides us with intrinsic motivation to overcome obstacles, resilience to persist in the face of failures, and clarity to distinguish what is essential from what is trivial. Hill's devil confesses that his greatest weakness is people with a defined purpose because they are immune to his fear traps and drifting. They know where they are going and do not let themselves be diverted. Defining a life and professional purpose is not a trivial task, but it is one of the most rewarding. It begins with deep self-reflection. Ask yourself, what do I truly love to do? Which activities energize me, make me lose track of time, and bring me a profound sense of satisfaction? What are my core values? What is most important to me in life? Integrity, freedom, contribution, creativity, security. What kind of legacy do I want to leave? How do I want to be remembered? What impact do I want to have on the world, my community, my family? What are my unique talents and skills? How can I use them to serve others in the world? It is crucial to differentiate a desire from a defined purpose. A desire is often vague, passive, and can be easily abandoned. A defined purpose, on the other hand, is specific, active, and accompanied by an action plan and unwavering determination to achieve it. It's not enough to want to be rich. You need a defined purpose of how you will become rich, what services or products you will offer, and what value you will deliver to the world. Steve Jobs is an iconic example of the power of a defined purpose. From an early age, Jobs had a clear vision of how technology could change the world, making it accessible and intuitive for the masses. His passion for design, simplicity, and innovation was not just a desire, but a purpose that drove him through countless challenges, including being fired from the very company he founded. He did not let criticism or temporary failures get him down. His vision for Apple, to create products that bit into the universe, was his defined purpose, and he pursued it with remarkable persistence and self-discipline, transforming the personal computing, music, and mobile phone industries. He was not just selling computers or phones, he was selling an experience, a philosophy, a lifestyle, all rooted in his purpose. To start defining your own purpose, set aside some time in a quiet, distraction-free place. Take a notebook and a pen. Begin writing freely about the questions above. Don't censor yourself. Let the ideas flow. Then, try to synthesize your answers into 1 or 2 clear and concise sentences that capture the essence of your life and professional purpose. This will be your personal and professional purpose statement. For example, my purpose is to use my creativity to develop innovative solutions that improve people's quality of life, inspiring them to reach their own potential. Read this statement daily, visualize it, and feel the emotion of living it. This is the first step to becoming immune to the devil's tactics and starting to build the life you truly desire. With a clearly established purpose, the next crucial weapons in the battle against the devil are persistence and self-discipline. Napoleon Hill emphasizes that having a clear goal is just the beginning. The true distinction between those who achieve success and those who succumb to the devil's traps lies in the ability to stay the course despite obstacles and to control one's own actions and thoughts. Persistence is unwavering resilience, the refusal to give up, while self-discipline is mastery over oneself, the ability to do what needs to be done even when one does not feel like it. Life, by its nature, is full of challenges and setbacks. The path to any significant goal is rarely linear or easy. It is in these moments of difficulty that persistence becomes the most valuable quality. Hill argues that the devil feeds on giving up. He hopes that, at the first difficulty, the first criticism, the first failure, people will abandon their dreams. Persistence is, therefore, an act of rebellion against the forces of mediocrity. It is a declaration that you are stronger than your fears and doubts, and that your purpose is more important than any temporary obstacle. Self-discipline, in turn, is the foundation upon which persistence is built. It involves conscious control over our thoughts, emotions, and habits. It means the ability to delay immediate gratification in favor of larger, long-term rewards. It is the inner strength that allows us to stay focused on our purpose, resist distractions, and complete necessary tasks, even when they are tedious or difficult. Without self-discipline, persistence becomes a constant and exhausting struggle. With it, it becomes a powerful habit that drives progress. Hill reminds us that self-discipline is not innate. It is a skill that can be developed and strengthened through conscious practice. It begins with small daily choices, getting up on time, keeping a promise to oneself, resisting temptation. Each small victory over inertia and instant gratification strengthens the muscle of self-discipline, making it easier to face bigger challenges. One of the greatest inventors in history, Thomas Edison, is often cited as a symbol of persistence. His quest for the incandescent light bulb lasted years and involved thousands of attempts and failures. When asked about his numerous failures, he supposedly replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His unwavering persistence, combined with strict self-discipline in his laboratory, revolutionized the world. Before building his entertainment empire, Walt Disney faced numerous rejections, bankruptcies, and criticisms. He was fired from a newspaper for lack of imagination, and his first animation company went bankrupt. However, his vision of creating a magical world and his stories never left him. With persistence and self-discipline, he continued to refine his art and his business, turning his dreams into a reality that delights generations. These examples illustrate that success is rarely a stroke of luck. It is the direct result of relentless persistence and strict self-discipline, which allow turning setbacks into stepping stones for success. Consider an entrepreneur launching a new product or service. Initially, sales are low. Customers complain, and investors are skeptical. The devil, through fear of failure and criticism, whispers for him to give up. However, with a clear, defined purpose and the strength of persistence, the entrepreneur analyzes negative feedback, makes adjustments to the product, improves marketing strategies, and continues to work tirelessly. He practices self-discipline by maintaining a strict work routine, studying the market, and seeking mentors, even when motivation is low. Eventually, after months or years of continuous effort, the product gains traction, sales increase, and the business prospers. His success was not instant, but built on the solid foundation of persistence and self-discipline. To develop persistence and self-discipline, start with a commitment. Choose a small but meaningful goal that you have been delaying or that you know will require ongoing effort. It could be something like read 15 minutes a day, exercise 3 times a week, or dedicate 1 hour a day to my side project. Create a detailed action plan for this goal, breaking it down into daily or weekly steps. Commit to following this plan for 30 days without fail. Use a calendar or a habit tracking app to mark your progress. When the urge to give up arises, and it will, remember your defined purpose and visualize the feeling of achievement upon completing the goal. This exercise will help you build the resilience and control needed to face bigger challenges and turn persistence and self-discipline into powerful habits in your life. At the core of Napoleon Hill's philosophy, and particularly evident in Think and Grow Rich, is the premise that the mind is the ultimate battlefield. It is within the mind that the war between the forces of the devil, fear, doubt, negativity, and the higher self, purpose, faith, action, takes place. The ability to control one's own mind and cultivate a positive mindset is, therefore, one of the most powerful weapons we can wield to achieve success and fulfillment. Hill argues that the mind is like a garden. If we do not cultivate it carefully, weeds, negative thoughts, will grow and choke the flowers, positive thoughts. The devil takes advantage of an unoccupied or misdirected mind, filling it with thoughts of failure, limitation, and despair. He knows that if he can control what we think, he can control what we do, and consequently, what we become. The good news is that, just as we can choose what to plant in a garden, we can choose the thoughts that inhabit our mind. The importance of cultivating positive thoughts and affirmations lies in the principle of autosuggestion. Our subconscious minds accept as truth what we repeat to them with emotion and conviction. If we constantly tell ourselves that we are incapable, that we do not deserve success, or that the world is a hostile place, our subconscious will work to make that reality come true. On the other hand, if we feed ourselves with affirmations of confidence, ability, and optimism, our subconscious will propel us toward those qualities. Techniques such as visualization and meditation are powerful tools to strengthen the mind and direct it toward the positive. Visualization involves creating vivid and detailed mental images of your goals already achieved. By seeing and feeling yourself in the desired state of success, you program your subconscious mind to seek and create that reality. Meditation, in turn, helps calm the mind, reduce the noise of negative thoughts, and develop greater awareness of the present. It allows you to observe your thoughts without attachment, choosing which to nurture and which to release. A positive mindset is not just about being optimistic. It's about having a proactive attitude towards life, seeking solutions instead of focusing on problems, learning from mistakes instead of lamenting them, and seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. This mindset attracts opportunities, people, and resources that are in tune with your goals. It creates an energy field that resonates with success, making you a magnet for the good things in life. High-performance athletes are masters of controlling their minds and maintaining a positive mindset. Before an important competition, many of them use visualization to mentally rehearse every move, every play, every victory. They see themselves crossing the finish line in first place, feel the excitement of victory, and hear the applause of the crowd. This practice not only strengthens their confidence, but also prepares their bodies and minds for peak performance. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was known for his ability to visualize success and his unwavering mentality, which drove him to overcome any adversity. Incorporate daily practices of affirmations and visualization into your routine. Start each day with 5 to 10 minutes of positive affirmations, repeating phrases like, "I am capable of achieving my goals. I attract success and abundance into my life. My mind is powerful and focused." Next, dedicate another 5 to 10 minutes to visualization. Close your eyes and imagine yourself living the life you desire, with your goals already achieved. Feel the emotions, see the details, hear the sounds. Do this daily, and you will begin to reprogram your mind for success, transforming it into a powerful ally in your journey against the devil. Napoleon Hill, in Think and Grow Rich, does not hold back criticisms of the traditional educational system of his time, and many of his observations remain surprisingly relevant today. He argues that formal education, often focused on memorization and conformity, fails to prepare individuals for independent thinking and the pursuit of a defined purpose. For Hill, true education goes far beyond the walls of school. It is a continuous process of self-learning and developing critical thinking, which is an essential weapon against the devil's manipulation tactics. The devil prospers in ignorance and lack of questioning. He takes advantage of minds that passively accept the information presented to them without analyzing it, without seeking the truth behind appearances. An educational system that does not encourage critical thinking creates citizens susceptible to propaganda, manipulation, and drifting. People who do not think for themselves are easily carried away by the current of popular opinions, trends, and limiting beliefs, becoming easy prey for the devil's control. Self-education, on the other hand, is an act of empowerment. It is the conscious decision to take responsibility for one's own learning and development. This involves a constant pursuit of knowledge, reading books that expand the mind, participating in courses and workshops, seeking mentors, and being willing to learn from every experience, whether it is a success or a failure. Self-education is not limited to acquiring information. It is about developing the ability to process, analyze, and apply that knowledge effectively. Critical thinking is the ability to analyze information objectively, identify biases, evaluate arguments, and form well-founded judgments. It is the capacity to question the status quo, challenge assumptions, and seek the truth, even if it is uncomfortable. When we develop critical thinking, we become less susceptible to manipulation, more capable of making informed decisions, and better equipped to chart our own course instead of blindly following others. People who reinvent themselves professionally through continuous learning are living examples of the power of self-education and critical thinking. Consider a professional who has worked for 20 years in an industry that is in decline. Instead of lamenting or feeling like a victim of circumstances, Diabo's tactics, he decides to invest in his self-education. He researches new growing industries, takes online courses to acquire new skills, attends conferences, and connects with people from different fields. He uses his critical thinking to analyze market trends, identify opportunities, and adapt his skills to a new context. This active pursuit of knowledge and the ability to think innovatively enable him to make a successful career transition, reinvent himself, and thrive in a new field, while many of his colleagues who did not invest in self-education fall behind. Create a self-education plan for the next 6 months. Identify an area of knowledge or a skill you would like to develop that aligns with your defined purpose. It could be learning a new language, delving into a specific topic, developing a technical skill, or enhancing your communication abilities. List the resources you will use: books, online courses, podcasts, mentors, and set weekly or monthly goals for your learning. Additionally, practice critical thinking daily. When reading news, listening to opinions, making decisions, ask yourself, what is the source of this information? Are there other perspectives? What evidence supports this statement? By doing this, you will strengthen your mind against negative influences and become a master of your own destiny. After uncovering the tactics of the devil and arming ourselves with the principles of purpose, persistence, self-discipline, mental control, and self-education, we reach the crucial stage of practical application. Napoleon Hill teaches us that knowledge alone is not power. Power resides in the application of knowledge. This chapter focuses on how we can actively transform the fears the devil uses against us into catalysts for growth and achievement. The first step in transforming fears into opportunities is redefinition. The fears we identify, poverty, criticism, illness, loss of love, old age, and death, are powerful because we perceive them as absolute threats. However, Hill encourages us to see each adversity, each failure, each pain as containing the seed of an equal or greater benefit. This does not mean ignoring pain or difficulty, but actively seeking the lesson, strength, or new direction that can emerge from it. For each of the 6 deadly fears, we can develop coping and transformation strategies. Fear of poverty. Instead of being paralyzed, use it as motivation to develop new skills, seek new sources of income, invest in financial education, and create a safety plan. The opportunity here is to build a solid and lasting financial foundation based on your own efforts and intelligence. Fear of criticism. Turn criticism into constructive feedback. Understand that not all criticism is negative. Often, it contains truths that can help us improve. The opportunity is to refine your ideas, products, or services, and to develop thicker skin and unwavering self-confidence that does not depend on others' approval. Fear of illness. Use it as a reminder to prioritize your physical and mental health. Invest in healthy habits, balanced nutrition, regular exercise, and stress management. The opportunity is to live a more vibrant life, with more energy and well-being, becoming an example for others. Fear of losing love. Instead of clinging desperately, use it as a motivation to cultivate healthy relationships based on mutual respect. Develop your self-esteem and self-sufficiency, understanding that true love blossoms in freedom and individuality. The opportunity is to build deeper and more authentic connections, free from dependency and insecurity. Fear of old age. Turn the fear of aging into a celebration of wisdom and experience. Plan your future ahead of time, invest in continuous learning, and stay active and engaged. The opportunity is to live a full life at all stages, contributing with your experience and inspiring new generations. Fear of death. Use it as a powerful reminder of the preciousness of life and the importance of living each day with purpose. Instead of fearing the end, focus on creating a meaningful legacy and living in a way that leaves no regrets. The opportunity is to live a life with meaning, passion, and contribution, leaving your mark on the world. The analysis of temporary defeats is a key concept of Hill. It teaches us that failure is not the opposite of success, but an integral part of it. Every time we fail, we receive a valuable lesson that brings us closer to success, as long as we are willing to learn. The devil wants us to focus on the pain of failure and give up. We, on the other hand, must seek the seed of benefit, the opportunity for adjustment, the new strategy that defeat reveals to us. A person who has a paralyzing fear of public speaking, which prevents her from advancing in her career where communication is essential. Instead of giving in to the fear and avoiding presentation situations, she decides to turn it into an opportunity. She enrolls in a public speaking course, practices daily in front of the mirror, seeks feedback from friends and colleagues, and gradually accepts small challenges to speak in public. Each presentation, even those that are not perfect, is seen as a learning opportunity. Over time, she not only overcomes her fear, but develops exceptional communication skills, becoming an inspiring leader and an example of how to turn a perceived weakness into a powerful strength. Choose one of the fears you identified in Chapter 1 that has most prevented you from moving forward. Create a detailed action plan to turn it into an opportunity for growth. Break the plan into small steps, set deadlines, and define how you will measure your progress. For example, if the fear is of criticism, your plan might include presenting a new idea in a team meeting this week, asking for specific feedback on that idea, reflecting on the feedback and identifying an area for improvement, repeating the process next week. Remember that action is the antidote to fear. By taking action, you not only face the devil, but also turn it into an ally. using its tactics against itself. Napoleon Hill, in Think and Grow Rich, reveals that the devil primarily operates through the principle of habit. He explains that the human mind is a creator of habits, and once established, habits become almost impossible to break. The devil takes advantage of this by encouraging habits of drifting, procrastination, fear, and negativity. However, this same universal law can be used to our advantage. If we can be slaves to bad habits, we can also become masters of successful habits that propel us toward our goals and defined purpose. The principle of habit is a powerful force that shapes our destiny. Our lives are largely the sum of our habits. Small actions repeated daily, almost unconsciously, accumulate over time to create monumental results, whether positive or negative. The key to overcoming the devil and achieving lasting success lies in identifying the negative habits that imprison us and consciously replacing them with positive habits that free us and propel us forward. The strategies for building successful habits are identification and awareness. The first step is to recognize the negative habits that are sabotaging your progress. This may require honest self-reflection. Ask yourself, what actions do I repeat daily that keep me from my goals? It could be the habit of checking your phone upon waking, delaying important tasks, complaining, or eating poorly. Substitution, not elimination. It is extremely difficult to simply stop a habit. The mind hates a vacuum. Instead of trying to eliminate a negative habit, focus on replacing it with a positive one. For example, instead of stopping watching TV, you can read a book for 30 minutes during the time you would normally watch TV. Small steps and consistency. Don't try to change everything at once. Start with one or two small, manageable habits. Consistency is more important than intensity at the beginning. It's better to do a little every day than a lot once a week. Repetition creates the neural pathways that solidify the new habit. Triggers and rewards. Every habit has a trigger, what starts it, and a reward, what you gain from doing it. Identify the triggers for your desired habits and create rewards for yourself when you accomplish them. For example, if your trigger is waking up in the morning, your routine might be drinking a glass of water and meditating for 10 minutes, habit, and your reward could be feeling calmer and more focused for the day. Create a supportive environment. Your environment has a huge impact on your habits. Make it easier to do the right things and harder to do the wrong ones. If you want to read more, leave a book on your bedside table. If you want to eat healthier, remove unhealthy foods from your house. The environment should be an ally, not an obstacle. The morning routine of successful people is a classic example of how intentional habits can lead to success. Many leaders, entrepreneurs, and elite athletes share the habit of waking up early and dedicating the first hours of the day to activities that prepare them for success. This can include meditation, physical exercise, reading, planning the day, or working on important projects. These routines do not happen by chance. They are consciously built, step by step, and become ingrained habits that provide a solid foundation for a productive and focused day. By starting the day with intention and discipline, they create a positive momentum that extends across all their activities, making them more smarter than the devil in their pursuit of excellence. Choose a new positive habit that you want to develop and that aligns with your defined purpose. It could be reading for 15 minutes a day, doing 10 minutes of exercise in the morning, or planning the day the night before. Create a 21-day plan to develop this habit. During these 21 days, commit to performing the action daily, without fail. Use a habit tracker, a calendar, and app to mark each day you fulfill your commitment. If you miss a day, don't give up. Just restart the next day. At the end of the 21 days, you will have built a new neural pathway, and the habit will be much easier to maintain. Remember, repetition is the mother of skill, and consistency is the key to mastering the habit principle and using it for your own benefit. Throughout Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill guides us on a path of self-discovery and empowerment, culminating in a deep understanding of the transformative impact of a defined purpose in personal and professional life. A purpose is not just an abstract ideal, it is the driving force that aligns our actions, thoughts, and emotions, creating a powerful synergy that propels us toward achievement and lasting success. It is the practical manifestation of being smarter than the devil, as it makes us immune to his tactics of distraction and mediocrity. When we live with a clear purpose, all areas of our lives are positively influenced. On a personal level, purpose gives us a sense of meaning and direction. It helps us make decisions aligned with our deepest values, cultivate more authentic relationships, and find joy and satisfaction in both small and large achievements. Life ceases to be a series of random events and becomes an intentional journey, where each step contributes to a greater goal. Self-confidence increases, resilience strengthens, and inner peace becomes a constant, because we know we are on the right path. In the professional landscape, the impact of a defined purpose is equally profound. Professionals with a clear purpose are not just seeking a salary. They are seeking to contribute, innovate, and leave a legacy. This translates into greater engagement, productivity, and job satisfaction. They are more likely to take calculated risks, persist in the face of challenges, and inspire their colleagues and teams. A well-defined professional purpose acts as a filter for opportunities, allowing us to focus on what truly matters and reject what distracts us from our mission. It helps us build a career that is not only financially successful, but also deeply rewarding and aligned with who we are. Aligning personal and professional goals with the greater purpose is essential. Our goals should be steps that lead us toward our purpose. If your purpose is helping people reach their maximum potential, your professional goals might include developing a mentorship program or writing a book on personal development. Your personal goals could be improving my communication skills or maintaining a healthy lifestyle to have energy to serve. When goals and purpose are in harmony, energy flows freely, and the feeling of being in control of your life is palpable. Personal and professional fulfillment, therefore, is not a destination, but the natural result of living with purpose. It is the feeling that we are using our talents and passions to make a meaningful difference in the world, no matter how small. It is the awareness that we are building something greater than ourselves, something that transcends daily concerns and connects us to a deeper meaning. It is the freedom to be who we truly are and to live the life we were meant to live, without the shackles of fear and manipulation by the devil. Consider companies that, in addition to seeking profit, have a clear and inspiring purpose. Patagonia, for example, has the purpose to build the best product, cause no unnecessary harm, and use business to inspire and implement solutions to the environmental crisis. This purpose not only guides their business decisions, from material selection to marketing campaigns, but also attracts passionate employees and loyal customers who share their values. Their employees are more engaged because they feel their work contributes to something greater. Their customers become brand advocates because they identify with their mission. Patagonia's success is not just financial, it is a success in impact, culture, and purpose, demonstrating how a well-defined purpose can inspire and align all stakeholders. Evaluate the current alignment between your life purpose, or the purpose statement you created, your goals, and your daily actions. On a piece of paper, list your purpose in the center. Then, list your main personal and professional goals around it. For each goal, ask, does this goal bring me closer to my purpose? And for each important daily action, ask, does this action contribute to my goals and consequently to my purpose? Identify any misalignments. Where are you spending time and energy on things that do not contribute to your purpose? Where can you adjust your goals or actions to create a stronger alignment? This exercise will help you optimize your time and energy, ensuring that every step you take brings you closer to the life you desire, free from distractions and the devil's deviations. We have reached the climax of our journey through the pages of Think and Grow Rich. Throughout this video, we have uncovered the insidious tactics of the devil: fear, drifting, manipulation, procrastination, and, most importantly, armed ourselves with the powerful tools that Napoleon Hill left us to overcome them: a definite purpose, persistence, self-discipline, mental control, and continuous education. Now it is time to synthesize these lessons and understand what it truly means to live a life of freedom and success, a life where we are, unequivocally, smarter than the devil. Living a life of freedom and success, from Hill's perspective, is not the absence of challenges or the guarantee of material wealth. It is, above all, the freedom to be the master of your own mind, to control your thoughts and emotions, and to direct your energy toward fulfilling a purpose that resonates with your soul. It is the freedom not to be a slave to the fears imposed by society, the opinions of others, or the inertia that the devil tries to instill. Success, in turn, is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, the fulfillment of your defined purpose, which brings with it satisfaction, achievement, and the ability to contribute to the greater good. The journey to this freedom and success is continuous. It is not a final destination, but a lifelong process of self-discovery and overcoming. With each new challenge, each new opportunity, we are invited to apply Hill's principles, reaffirm our purpose, exercise our persistence and self-discipline, and strengthen our mental control. The devil never gives up, but neither do we, armed with knowledge and practice. Every victory over a fear, every step taken toward our purpose, every positive habit cultivated makes us stronger and more resilient. Napoleon Hill's legacy is immense and timeless. His works, especially Outwitting the Devil, are an invitation to deep reflection and transformative action. He reminds us that the power to shape our destiny lies in our own hands, or rather, in our own minds. The importance of sharing knowledge is a fundamental aspect of this legacy. By applying these lessons in our lives, we not only benefit individually, but also become beacons of inspiration for others, helping them find their own path to freedom and success. The final message is one of empowerment and action. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Start where you are, with what you have. The devil thrives on inertia and doubt. Act with faith and conviction in your purpose. Believe in your ability to overcome obstacles and create the life you desire. Remember Hill's maxim: anything the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Embrace this truth and use it as your guide. To solidify your journey and ensure you continue to live a life of freedom and success, create a progress and reflection journal. Daily or weekly, set aside time to record. 1. Your victories, small or large, celebrate each step toward your purpose. 2. Your challenges. Identify fears, procrastinations, or negative influences that the devil tried to use against you. 3. Your lessons. What did you learn from the victories and challenges? How can you apply this learning in the future? 4. Your purpose. Reinforce your defined purpose and visualize it with emotion. 5. Your next steps. What actions will you take to keep moving forward? This journal will be your constant companion, a testament to your journey, and a powerful tool to maintain focus, motivation, and awareness that each day you are becoming smarter than the devil. We have reached the end of our in-depth exploration of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This journey led us to confront the invisible forces that often prevent us from reaching our full potential and, more importantly, equipped us with the tools to overcome them. Let's recap the key points that emerged from this script. First, we understood that Hill's devil is a metaphor for internal and external negative forces, fears, doubts, procrastination, alienation, and manipulation that seek to keep us in a state of mediocrity. We identified the 6 deadly fears and how they manifest in our lives, paralyzing action and stifling ambition. Next, we discover the powerful tools Hill offers us to combat these forces. Defined purpose emerges as the essential compass, providing direction and meaning. Persistence and self-discipline are the engines that drive us through obstacles. Mind control and positive mindset allow us to shape our internal and external reality. And continuous education and critical thinking free us from manipulation and empower us to make informed decisions. Finally, we explore the practical application of these theories, learning to turn fears into opportunities, build success habits, and align our lives with a greater purpose. Personal and professional fulfillment is not an accident, but the direct result of a life lived with intention, discipline, and a deep understanding of the power of the mind itself. This script is an invitation to action. Knowledge alone is not enough. It is the consistent and deliberate application of these principles that will bring transformation. Challenge yourself to identify the areas of drifting in your life, to confront your fears, to define your purpose with unwavering clarity, and to cultivate the habits that will lead you to success. Remember that the battle against the devil is ongoing, but with each step you take with purpose and faith, you become stronger, more resilient, and undeniably wiser. May Napoleon Hill's lessons serve as a constant guide on your journey. May you find the courage to pursue your dreams, the persistence to overcome your challenges, and the wisdom to live a full, meaningful, and truly free life. The power is in your hands. Use it wisely and build the life you were destined to live. If this video resonated with you and inspired you to start or deepen your own journey, please leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our upcoming content. If you have any questions or want to share your own experience, leave a comment below. Your participation is very important to us. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we wish you a life full of purpose. We have left the link to the book in the description. See you in the next video.